Hi, and welcome to our 50th episode of The Little Insight. It's episode 50 already. It's crazy how the time is passing. My name is, even after all those 50 episodes, still Tobi. And this week we're going to discuss the so-called triangle of release. That is a great way to let go of past regrets and remorse. So let's get started right after the intro. So in this episode, I'm going to introduce what I call the triangle of release. This is a particularly powerful method to dissolve regrets, remorse, guilt, shame that we have about past actions, which is paralyzing just so many people. You wouldn't even believe just how many people I meet every week in our retreats and in our classes who are just so stuck in their past, in their regrets, some more conscious of it, some quite unconscious of it, but it really limits us to a great extent. So it's my wish to actually help as many people as possible to break out of their past and to move on into a better, more fulfilling life. The solution to being paralyzed by your past is what I call, and I mentioned it before, the triangle of release. The triangle of release consists of 3 points, which is awareness, it is forgiveness, and there's also the element of decision making. So when all those 3 are working in harmony, in balance, then we are creating a better lifestyle, we are empowering ourselves, and we can move on into a future which is not the repetition of our yesterdays. The first element considers our past action. It is forgiveness. So you want to let go of your past mistakes, those things that weigh you down, that create remorse and regret, which is a major obstacle to spiritual practice, major obstacle to deeper meditation as well. So you want to let go of your past and the negativity, the residue of this negative energy that still lingers. So the way to do that is through forgiveness. Forgiveness, as I mentioned in a video before, which is precisely just only about forgiveness. I recommend you to have a look at that video if you don't really know what forgiveness is or how to establish it. It's based on 3 simple steps: understanding, accepting, and then finally forgiving. So in order to practice these steps, you want to look at whatever went wrong in your past. And you see it through the light of understanding that you could not act beyond yourself at that moment. And then you accept that the past is done, it's finished, you're over it. And then you forgive. After having forgiven yourself, you then move on to the second element of the triangle, which is the power of making an informed decision. Making an informed decision here is important. Informed by what? Informed by the past action, which is here, over here, the past action which you have forgiven yourself for, or the past action of someone else that has influenced your life in a negative way. You've forgiven that other person. And now you want to, instead of just blindly looking to create happiness, ignoring what created the misery and the suffering first of all in your life. Some people, they are very scared of their past. They don't want to look at what went wrong. They don't want to look at what's still wrong within them right now, things that they cannot let go of. They don't want to face it. Instead, they create this kind of spiritual persona which is always supposed to be happy, always supposed to be nice. They're always coming with a smile, but inside of themselves they feel like they're burning. They feel very uncomfortable. So I've met so many people who are so happy on the outside, and as soon as the first day of retreat has started, they break down and they cry and they feel so hurt and they feel so overwhelmed by the suffering that they have carried for all those years within themselves. Now it's really important then to make an informed decision based upon the suffering that you have experienced in the past. You then tend to repeat that suffering either consciously or unconsciously in the present moment. And if your decision is not informed by the forgiveness, by the past action that you're forgiving yourself for, or that you're forgiving other people for, then we tend to be stuck. Even if we create happiness in the present moment, the underlying, the deeper problem has not been resolved. There are deeper aspects of ourselves that we don't want to face them. So that's why it's important to inform our decisions based on the suffering that we are experiencing right now. And that suffering that we experience right now is the residue of the suffering that we have created in our past, of course. So through forgiveness and through moving on in an empowered way by good decision making, we can then change our lives. So these are these two elements, right? The first one being forgiveness, the second one being making an informed decision, making a decision that does not ignore the suffering that we feel, but the decision is based on that suffering. Basically, you can say it's learning. That step here could also be referred to as learning, growing. I'm not going to repeat the same mistake again. Instead, I'm going to fill in the blank. So you're making an empowered and well-informed decision. That's the way to break through the prison of past. The third step, the final step above here, you have forgiveness, you have informed decisions or learning, and then you have awareness. Now, it is not enough to just only act and continuously be kind of trapped in the realm of action. So I'm trying to do good, I'm abandoning bad, I'm seeing how can I optimize my life based upon what I did today, what can I do better tomorrow, what can I do better now. So that is just one element of life, the element of making better, more empowering decisions which lead to liberation, freedom from suffering in the long run. But all of that, all these two, they should be primarily informed and empowered by awareness at the top of the triangle. You have awareness at the top. So awareness is what oversees and which makes known what is yet unknown. It brings illumination into the darkness that is still inside of our mind. It brings illumination into the light that's already there in our mind. But the source of the illumination, the awareness itself, it is that very power which informs all our actions, our decision, and which adds quality to our life in the present moment. So you're not just trying to make it better in the future, you're starting right here, right now, by informing this very moment with consciousness, by charging whatever you're doing right now with awareness. And then based upon that, you make an empowered decision which is free from fear, free from worries about the future, and free from the regrets and the problems of the past. So all these three elements in that triangle, forgiveness concerning the past, informed decisions, the learning process, making an empowered action right now, and awareness, they all support each other. Awareness dissolves suffering. It dissolves stress. It points to what is true, what is real. Forgiveness dissolves regrets, remorse, guilt, being stuck in the past. And empowered decision making, it creates what is good, what is sustainable, what is beneficial both for ourselves and for other beings around us. That way, this triangle can work to create a very balanced spiritual practice. You have the element of awareness, you have the element that is concerned with the past of your life, and you have the element which is concerned with the future of your life. So you have a direction. This is the future. You have a direction. You let go of the burdens that you carry from the past, and at the same time you realize a higher state of being that transcends both good and bad, future and past, that transcends all duality of life, of the experience of life. So this is all that comes to mind concerning the triangle of release in this episode 50. I hope it was meaningful for you and it gave you something to think about, something to let go of. And hopefully it helps you to lead a happier, more fulfilling life. But as always, as I say, it's not enough to just watch a YouTube video and then have a sense of, yes, I understand, but you got to put it into practice. You got to make it work. That requires time and a consistent effort every day. You want to make small baby steps, but continuous small baby steps. So this is the way we can create success on the spiritual path, and anyways in all worldly concerns as well. Now, if you do have any questions or you want to know something or just comment, then feel free to write it down in the comment section below. I'm always happy to read your comments, and I'm hoping that you guys will have a fantastic week, and I'm seeing you all again next Wednesday. Bye-bye.